funny.
Like it just doesn't know what to do. It's like, it's Monday and I can't quite get my countdown going.
I feel it.
Oh, hello everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome to our coffee chat. Christina's back and she's here, and I'm back because last week we had technical difficulties. So we wanted to chat with you guys because holy heck, what a world, right? Like we have so much crazy going on in our world right now that, well, one, we want to talk to you guys a little bit about that. That's something we're going to talk about. And then just kind of see how everybody's doing. So if you're watching us live, let us know. Give us some hellos, high fives. We always have to check to see what's going on because BeLive never actually tells us who our people are. So if you say hi, it's so-and-so, so we know.
So then we're going to just say hi, Facebook user, because that gets awkward. Especially when it's like Lindsay's husband or something. Hi, Facebook user. Yeah, that's what it says. Hey, Facebook user. Okay, so one of the things that we've been getting a ton of questions, a ton of comments, a lot of stuff coming down the pipes the last few days is so many of you are suddenly working from home. That this is a big thing. And I've seen today even more and more places shutting down, going on complete lockdown, more and more people working from home. So we wanted to talk a little bit about what working from home looks like, setting up your workspace from home, keeping as much normal as possible while working from home. Lindsay and I have both been working from home for over 3 years now, for like 3.5 years. But even as masterful as we are at working from home, we've been thrown new curveballs this week too, where we're both working from home with children now. I've done it before, but it's been a while. I've been spoiled for about a year now that my kids were going to daycare and school. And so I haven't had the same struggles. And now all of a sudden we're working from home with kids again. So trying to navigate some of that. And then I know I've gotten a lot of questions about setting up your workspace from home. And a couple of people have already said, like, my neck and shoulders are hurting, my back is hurting. There's no way to set you up ergonomically correct right now. You're not going to be able to get all the best stuff and all the right things. So Lindsay's going to give you some tips and tricks on stretching, on moving, and on setting up your workspace. I know when I first moved out on my own with the kids, when I first became a single mom and moved into my own space, I was trying to work at my kitchen table for a while. And it was so not set up for it. And I ended up with like really sore shoulders and neck. And anyways, I did move back into an office space with an office desk that was a lot better for me, but some of you don't have that option right now. So we need to make the best of what you have. So what are some things to keep in mind when setting up workspace, Lindsay?
Yeah, so I mean, again, guys, if you have 1,000 million square foot house, amazing, I'm sure you can find space, but most of us don't have that. So we want to just really understand that right now you're in a situation where you are probably not sure how to set things up. So here's a few really important tips. One thing is try to keep everything together. And what do I mean by that? Get one of those boxes. It can be a cardboard box for all I care, but put your stuff in that box. So if your kitchen table becomes your workspace or your sofa becomes your workspace, then at least you have everything in one box that you can move from place to place. Now, I don't have a dedicated office. Yes, we have our studio here where I do try to do a lot of the work, but I tend to do a lot of my actual work downstairs at my kitchen table, just like Christina talked about. And so what I do is I have this stuff in a box that I can then say, okay, I'm going upstairs, let me bring my box with me. I'm going downstairs, let me do that. And so one, that will keep the chaos of trying to find stuff and like, you know, where is this and where's that? And do I have enough pens and what's going on?
I saw an amazing image that I wanted to tell people about. So if you take cereal boxes, like empty cereal boxes, and like the same size ones, and put 2 or 3 of them together and then wrap them in like wrapping paper, it makes like a paper divider. I will try to find the picture of it, but then you could divide your papers even without going and spending like money on little paper dividers.
Yeah, well, especially right now, guys, and this is really important, right? Whether you're on complete lockdown or social distancing or doing whatever, you know, I love the Pinterest moms. I love the Pinterest people out there who are trying really hard. But for people like myself who has no supplies to do any of that stuff, like I don't have all that stuff. Don't let those people pull you down, okay? First of all, you have to do you no matter what. And so if you're working from home for the very first time and you got no home supplies, it's okay. It's okay. You can do it as long as you have your computer, you know, a cup of coffee probably, and, you know, a little bit of patience. And that's the important thing. I definitely recommend moving often, right? Just like you would have done at the office, what I would say to you, you know, at your office, you know, make sure you're still drinking your water. So you have to get up and go pee. So you have to move around. You know, and if you're one of these people who tends to get really sore sitting in a chair for long periods of time, move from a chair to a different chair, to a sofa, to the floor, to standing. Now, I've makeshift standing desks all my life because I don't have an area or the financials to buy anything. And I literally put a Tupperware, and then my computer screen is sitting on top of the Tupperware. So now I'm standing while I'm doing my work.
Now, what level, sorry, just as you're talking about that, what level should you be at? Like, how should the bend be in your arms, like when you're actually typing? Do you know
Again, you're supposed to be sort of at that 90 degrees. So when you're kind of here, so not way up here by any stretch and not way down. But again, when we're in a situation where you might be sitting on your sofa, the last thing you're really thinking about is all of those things. But here's the thing, the most important part is comfort. So if you're sitting at your sofa and you're not comfortable, go and find a new place. If you're sitting on a chair, like for me, I actually find sitting as a whole very uncomfortable because I'm so used to moving. And so if I'm sitting with clients, back to back to back to back, I automatically do some movement with those shoulders, get that back nice and strong so that I don't always sit in that kind of slump position. We have a better back. It's this thing where you pull your arms back. Yeah, a ball is a really good place. If you've ever seen our ball, it's like really, really, really shrunk down because we don't have a pumper. So anyway, but finding those things that will really kind of keep that body in a good place. But that movement is key for everything that we do, right? So if you have a doohickey and it tells you to move every hour, get up, grab a new glass of water, another cup of coffee, go to the bathroom, go and do a quick walk around, and then maybe change positions. Maybe get, instead of at the kitchen table, go and sit down on the sofa, the floor, the standing desk, right? You can make shift all of those things, which is really, really, really going to help with that body soreness. I know, Christina, you have a pretty fancy chair, an office chair, as we call it, that has swivels and movements. Not everybody does. I use my kitchen chair, right? Like
I bought this like a used fancy chair. I wasn't going to spend hundreds of dollars, so I bought this like when I started working from home. Again, lots of people don't have the ability to do that right now. I used to use a kitchen chair. One of the things that I did is we had chairs at our island, which is slightly higher. And then we also had chairs at our kitchen table, and I would alternate between the two throughout the day. And then sometimes I would just stand at the island. Again, we had an island, so standing was fine. Like it makes a great standing desk if you have an island. It's often the right height, unless it's one of the bar height islands, and then you need to sit. But ours is like just a flat surface island. So it made a great standing desk for me. And like Lindsay said, sometimes I will use bowls. I like Tupperware bowls. I will use boxes. I will use containers. When I go live from my kitchen, guys, you guys should see the setup that I have going on. Like, it's crazy. The things that I stack my computer on and I move things all around, and you just use what you can. We've used nightstands or like side tables from our living room and use those for different things. When I teach classes from my living room, it's also a very funny setup. There's like end tables stacked on top of each other. It's really whatever you can do to make yourself comfortable. And it's interesting that you say move around a lot. That's something that I've been doing with my kids while they've been home, is we move like station to station. Like, I don't have a set schedule. I'm not that mom, which is actually surprising because I am a very organized, scheduled, structured person, but I have children and they are not. So we have like sort of a list of stations, essentially, of things that the kids can do throughout the day. And when they start getting a little too, I call it rammy, but when they start getting a little too wild, then we move to a different station. And it's sort of the same for you when you're working. And I do it too when I'm working by myself. If I find that I'm sitting here and I'm in my office, and I have a great office, but if I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm getting sore or I'm getting uninspired or I'm like, oh, or I'm just feeling drained, I will automatically go to a different space in my house and work. I don't do it very often, but I've worked in my bed. Like, I have a laptop, I'll just put it on my lap sometimes, work in my bed. I've worked on my couch. I've worked, at my kitchen table, on my island, wherever. But sometimes what you really need is a change of scenery. That can be really, really, important and inspiring and just, sort of wake you up a little bit.
Yeah, and I think too, I mean, your environment plays a huge part in it, right? So, and again, we talked about this the other day about just in general. Well, now that we have a little bit more time, if some people do, I don't know who those people are, but see people who have more time who can do a little bit more organizing and do a little bit more decluttering and stuff like that. Because that's the other thing. So if you look at your space and there is just stuff everywhere, whether you think it does or not, it does come down onto you and makes you feel that like, oh my gosh, there's so much space around here. Music, right? I've had this poll before where we've talked about like when you're trying to get something done, what music do you listen to? I'm actually a classical person. It's so funny. It stems back to when I went back to university when I was like 25. I would listen to music, classical music in my head while I was studying, and it helped. Now, if I want to get something done and no distraction, classical music is my go-to. I know Christina's a big country fan. Country music on there, doing the
However, if I'm like writing something, I can't have any music on. It distracts me.
Right. And that's why I pick classical, because otherwise I'm singing along to the music, forgetting to do what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, I just make up words if I have classical. I will sing to myself. Another thing that I was going to say is I've seen a lot of people, and I mean, this is just the only space that a lot of people have, is their basement, like an unfinished basement. And I have also worked from an unfinished basement before. I have set up office space. I worked from home for a long time, so I have set up office space in the craziest places. But if you have to use an unfinished basement, try to hang some like white sheets or like something to give you, or like brightly colored even, but try to find some things to bring some color into your space. I'm not a decorator by any stretch of the imagination. If you see my house, there's like one picture on the wall. Like I am not a decorative person, but it's the brightness of it instead of like that dark, dingy space that it definitely plays into your mindset. Another thing that I'm going to mention about working from home is keeping as much normal as possible. So we have a lot of our class members that are currently working from home. They're still getting up at the same time. They're still getting their workout in the morning, eating breakfast, grabbing a coffee, putting a bra on. There's all of these pieces of keeping some sort of normal. I just made my kids get dressed and they were like, why do we have to get dressed? And I'm like, because we need to keep as much normal as we can for our brains, that our minds need that sense of normal. In this craziness that's going on, there's so many things that are abnormal, so many things that are out of our control. But if you can keep those small pieces of routine and normal, it's really important. I was talking to members on the weekend about if you're somebody who goes out of the house for work usually, packing a lunch every day still is something I highly recommend you doing. Packing all of your lunch, all of your snacks, everything that you would usually take for your workday into a lunch bag and putting it in your refrigerator. And then when it is time to eat, you go to that lunch bag. You don't go to your pantry and grab a bunch of snacks. You eat out of that lunch bag. Yes, it takes a tiny bit of discipline to say, I'm just going to eat out of this lunch bag, but it takes far less discipline than it does to go to the fridge and try to make a healthy choice when you're hungry and you've waited too long to eat. If it's just all in that lunch bag, it's super duper important. I know Karen, one of our members, pours out her tea every morning and all of her beverages that she's going to drink for the whole day. Keep doing that from home. Do it the exact same as you've always done. Everything that you've done, and maybe create some new, better habits. If you're like, oh my gosh, Karen does that every day, that's such a great idea. Start it. While you're not commuting. I know Julie posted the funniest video this morning of her commute. I was dying laughing. She's working from home right now in like her apartment, and yeah, she posted her commute video, which was hilarious. But making light of those things and keeping as much normal as you can in this time is going to be really, really important. So packing that lunch, still taking something out for dinner the same as you would if you had to go to work.
Yeah, and I think really important too, and this, I know people will be like, Lindsay, you can say that because it's beautiful outside. You don't have to worry about snow and weather and whatever, but getting outside, even for, I'm not even kidding you, hanging your head out the window. I saw a funny meme the other day where somebody was hanging out the window and being like, my vacation here, and they're literally sunbathing out the window. Taking a bundle up, get outside, breathe the air, just kind of do it, and then come back inside. Going back to what we were saying about setting up your offices and stuff, you may not have the basement beautiful window, or you may not have a gorgeous outside, but as long as you can get outside. The other thing too is backgrounds, right? If you have a background where you can put like a beautiful skyscraper or some type of mountain or something in there that's going to make you feel a little bit better each day. But movement throughout the day, super, super important. air, fresh air, definitely relaxing. Okay, I've been telling most of my clients this morning and this weekend, just because the Pinterest mom says that they're doing amazing at homeschooling, first of all, they're probably lying. Second of all, it doesn't mean that you have to, right? If you're working from home is a shit show and you have kids flying and you have people going and like, it is fine, because you know what? Everybody that I've spoken to, every homeschooling mom that I know, every teacher mom that I know, every teacher that I know, they're basically saying that as long as you keep your kids doing something, reading, right, watching TV with the subtitles on, doing some coloring, it's going to be okay, right? I have friends who have like kindergartners, and I have friends who have grade 12 kids, and it's going to be okay. So that's the thing, like, don't stress. It's the same with working from home. 2 weeks ago, everybody was saying it's impossible to do certain jobs from home. Today, they're making it happen. They're figuring their shit out because they have to.
I saw a talk show live with Ryan and Kelly. They broadcasted from home today, like an international giant talk show. I'm like, this is craziness. The things that are happening from home, that it's blowing my mind, that the way that people are banding together. And share your ideas, guys, please. If you have, actually, let's do something today where everybody posts, like anybody that's working from home, show us your office space, take a picture of it, take us on a little virtual tour. I'll do mine as soon as we're done here. I'll jump on Facebook Live again and give you a little virtual tour of our space. I'll also be keeping, if you're on my personal Facebook, I'll keep it out of the groups, but on my personal Facebook, every day I've been jumping in and kind of showing some of what the kids and I have been doing. I am not the Pinterest mom. It's not brag worthy. There's lots of meltdowns, but we're doing the best we can with what we got. So I'm trying to keep the kids busy. I'm trying to keep them in things. I posted yesterday my bribe chart for snacks. It's actually going wonderfully. Ava is all about the bribe chart for snacks. He is less about it, but we'll get there. But yeah, we're just trying to do as much as we can, the best we can. The kids, one of the kids' friends, actually, her mom messaged this morning, and they're doing a reading group with kids. So the kids are getting together today at 1:00 to read together on Zoom. Super, sounds good to me. Anything that you can do, and connecting yourself and your kids is going to be really important right now. Everybody's feeling a little isolated, and that can be tough on a lot of people. Even the introverts I'm seeing are like, ooh, yeah, usually I'm cool with being home, but being forced to be at home is a totally different ballgame, right?
Totally different.
So,
don't feel bad too about sharing your fails, guys. Like, this is the thing. One of the things that Christina and I said just before we went live is my kids are home, the dogs are out, her kids are home, the dog is out. Like, this could be a total shit show. It really could. We could have had kids come in. And you know what? That's okay, because this is the best we can do. If you have kids doing breakdowns, if you're having a breakdown, it is okay. And you know what? That's what we need to share, because the people who are watching and thinking that, as much as I laugh when Christina posts her stuff because I know behind the scene what's going on, some people look at that and they're like, oh my gosh, she's doing so well. Why am I not doing so well? You know what? It's okay, because we're not. Nobody's doing amazing. Everybody is lying if they are, because that is not how it works. Working from home, kids at home, routine out of control, there's anxiety, there's scared, there's all kinds of stuff happening. If you are not okay, you are not alone. And I promise you that. We are trying to make light of it. We're trying to support you as best we can. We're trying to offer you guys the kids classes and online classes for free this week. We're trying to do whatever we can to help you out. But you know what? It's okay if you're not okay. And
it's totally okay if you come to our online classes or the kids classes and somebody has a meltdown in between. There's a mute button for that. My kids, last week, I taught one of the classes and Ben had a meltdown in the middle of the class we were teaching. My kids are a little older now, but I remember like a year plus ago, I don't know how many times I'd be on a Zoom or like on a Facebook Live and Ben would be yelling from the bathroom for me to come wipe his butt. Like, it's just the way that life worked. And it was like, you know what, we just run with it and we make it work. So yeah, the fails are fun, and you just make the best of them and learn from them and try to move forward. I saw somebody post something yesterday about you don't want to even see what I've been eating, that, please don't shame me. That will never, ever happen in this group. There will be no shaming. It will not occur. We're all struggling in different ways. And some of us have this work from home thing, kind of mastered, which I laugh about because Lindsay and I don't at all. I know her kids had meltdowns about things last week. My kids had meltdowns about things last week. This morning it was 8:05. I was on the phone with my mom and my kids were both freaking out. And my mom's like, oh, 8 o'clock, you made it far today. Yes. But yeah, you pick it up and you just keep moving with it. So
gotta do what you gotta do, and sometimes, you know, I as I said, we have seen a lot of people worried about shaming, whether it's food, whether it's, you know, bribing your children. What, you know, at this point right now, honestly, you gotta do what you gotta do, and I promise you, you will get your stuff done when you can. Some people are waking up early, some people are staying up late, some people are doing schoolwork, you know, at 4 o'clock in the morning. Whatever works is what's going to be okay for you guys, and we're here to support you as best we can, with our kids classes, with our online classes, with our support calls, with all of our coffee chats and our question and answers. So we're here to support. If you guys have anything that you need from us, we're trying to be here as best we can. I know the other day or yesterday somebody posted about they need social distancing from their refrigerator, right? Everybody feels that boredom, like, what's in my refrigerator now? Close it. What's in my refrigerator now? Close it. Everybody has that, so don't be ashamed. Don't worry.
And post the things that you're doing well, and post the things that you're struggling with. That if you found something to help with that social distancing to the refrigerator, post it and share it with us. There's no victory too small to share right now, and there's no struggle too small to share right now. That any of those things, we're totally here for. That, I mean, we could even look at posting, you know, a victories post and a struggles post every day. That if you don't want to, you know, take up the wall and have your own private space, we can do those so that people can share what's working. That, I mean, we have some things that are working and we have some things that are not working. Like I said, I've seen loads of you out there posting these grand schedules for your children. And to me, I'm like, there's no way that's going to work, especially for my Ben. For Ava, it would. For Ben, not a chance. If I posted a schedule, he'd burn it. So it's just the way that it goes. So share what's working, share what's not working. Stay connected, stay plugged in, and we will go live today and take some videos and pictures and stuff of our workspace. And, you know, again, show us what's working and what's not working. And let's do the best we can this week with everything that's going on. Watch for, on Thursday, you will get an email, I think from me, maybe, I don't know. You'll get an email from one of us and a blog on Saturday from the other one. We don't know what's going on. Welcome to our world.
Looks like we've got things organized, but again, it's all good. We're all good, and this is great. This is how it's going to be.
If you're watching right now and you have kids, Lindsay is about to teach a kids class in 6 minutes. So jump in and check out the free kids classes. There's 2 back-to-back right now, and then there's one this afternoon at 2 o'clock Mountain, 4 o'clock Eastern, is going to be Ava's class. Ben, if he doesn't freak out, but he'll probably freak out, let's be honest.
Yeah, but guys, let us know if we can help you with anything. Post, we're going to talk wins, we're going to talk struggles as we go through this week. We can make it till Friday. That's where we got to go, right? Just one step, baby step, baby step, baby step, a little bit of wine, maybe. I don't know. We'll see what it goes. But have a fantastic Monday, whatever's going on for you guys, and we'll talk to you guys real soon.
Bye.